I'm 32 and I made a mistake. Not a small slip-up, but a thoughtless, reckless decision that shattered everything I thought was steady in my life. One moment, I was laughing at a dinner table with close friends, surrounded by the warmth of love and familiarity. The next, I was alone in a quiet house, numb, staring at my phone screen lighting up with every message except the one I needed most. I never believed Ryan would actually leave. Sure, I thought he might get upset, maybe give me the silent treatment for a couple of days. But leave? Actually walk away? That was never part of our story. Except he did. He left, and all I have now is a heavy silence and the weight of regret. It all started with one careless comment. Something flippant, I said to get a laugh, to seem charming, to keep the mood light. We were at dinner, wine in hand, laughter flowing like it always did. Someone threw out a what-if scenario. If you had to choose between your husband and someone else, who would you pick? Without even thinking, I smiled, played the crowd, and said something I thought would come across as witty. Please, I'd choose my coworker over Ryan any day. Laughter erupted. I laughed too. I even threw in a wink for flair. To me, it was just banter, a harmless joke. But it wasn't harmless. Ryan didn't laugh. He didn't even crack a smile. He just looked at me, his face unreadable. And that should have told me everything. But I brushed it off. I rolled my eyes, kissed his cheek, and told him to lighten up. When we got home, everything changed. He looked at me, his voice soft. Do you really believe that? I paused. What are you talking about? What you said at dinner. Was it a joke? Or do you really think you'd be happier with someone else? I could have apologized. I could have explained that it meant nothing, that I was just playing along. But instead, I got defensive. Maybe it was pride, maybe fear. I crossed my arms, scoffed, told him he was blowing out of proportion. He let out a laugh, but it wasn't the kind that made you feel better. It was sharp, hollow. You know, he said, I've spent years trying to be everything you needed. And the one time I see you light up like that, it's not for me. Oh, come on, I replied. Don't be so dramatic. But he wasn't being dramatic. He was done. No yelling. No trembling hands. Just calm resignation. If you truly think there's someone better, he said, then what's the point of any of this? And that was when I felt it. The shift, like the ground moved beneath us. This wasn't an argument. It wasn't just another storm we'd weather. This was the beginning of the end. Ryan, wait, I said, but he was already walking away. I followed him upstairs. He was packing. I leaned against the doorframe, arms folded like I still had control. You're leaving over that? Seriously, without even glancing at me, he replied, It's not just that. It's everything. Panic hit me like a wave. I begged him, pleaded for him to talk, to listen, to understand that I hadn't meant any of it. But he didn't flinch. He zipped up his bag, grabbed his keys, and walked out the door. I told myself he just needed time, that he'd come back. But days passed. Only silence. Then an email, not from him, but from a real estate agent, following up on an apartment inquiry. He wasn't cooling off. He was moving on. I called straight to voicemail. I texted, no reply. Finally, I sent a voice message, my voice shaking. I told him I was sorry, that he was the only one I ever wanted, that I didn't mean it. His response came in a single line. Thanks for confirming what I've suspected for a while. You just use people for what they can offer. I guess I was no different. That's when the truth sank in, because he wasn't wrong. I called again. This time he picked up, but his voice, it was cold, distant. What do you want, Caroline? I stammered, tried to explain, tried to fix something already too broken to hold together. I need space, he said. Don't call me again until I reach out. And that was the last time I heard his voice. Now I sit here alone, stare at my phone every few minutes, hoping, knowing that the message I want won't come. I thought I held the power. I believed I could say anything, do anything, and he'd always be there. But he wasn't. He isn't. And the worst part? That coworker I joked about. He never cared. That moment of fake attention, that illusion of charm, it meant absolutely nothing. And now, I have no one to blame but myself.